what a war this one is, man. Okay, so it's the finale of the season, and I'm on a completely different path, and I get to take two mini-bosses that I died to the previous war. Which is quite a war if you ask me, but we're starting on Path 6. I've never done this path before, but I figured with Kitty Pride I should be okay, as long as I know what I'm doing, because Kitty is just that goated, so... we're fighting this Killmonger here on Node 6, and this is scary. I don't like the Kitty versus Killmonger matchup. In theory, it's good because you're ignoring reverb. However, Killmonger has a lot of crit resist, so it sometimes is really hard to ramp her, and he also has that counter punch to where if you dash in with the phase, then you just lose some prowess a lot of times. I could light intercept with Kitty if I wanted to avoid that, but I felt like going medium intercepts was better. Even with that counterpunch being the way it is, so that's what I decided to go with. And I am going at SP3 here. 1, because that lets me ramp up my prowess for the rest of the fight, and 2, because of the amount of crit resist he has, going for an SP2 might not be that worth it anyway. Then again, I could be wrong, but this is the strategy I was going with, and it paid off pretty well. As you're going to see, we're going to solo this fight at the end. It's going to get a little bit sketchy later, but I'm trying to bait a special so his reverb is a little less potent. I went for a light intercept, he just stood there and didn't feel like going for it, and I got punched, but I had a little bit more on my invul boost, so I didn't take too much damage. We're going for an SP2 with very little prowess, however, we just needed 1 crit to finish him off, and that's what happened. So, Kitty did a good job on that first fight. But next up, I have Omega Sentinel versus Emma Frost on Node 15. And again, never taken Path 6 before, so I was rereading all the nodes just to make sure I knew exactly what was going on. However, I do know that Emma is one of the easier defenders to fight this tactic because you can just dex her SP1 really easily, you can dex the SP2 almost just as easily, and you're kind of just chilling from there. And plus, OS is a tank, and she has so much damage. This is a rank 5 Ascended Omega Sentinel, so literally the largest acquirable OS in the entire game, and she is absolutely going to smoke this Emma. We just keep refreshing the taunt with our light intercepts, keep going for 4th light attacks to pause our debuffs, and we're big chillin'. So we have 4 plasmas, and they're already ticking for 5k a second, and we're going to go for a taunt refresh right here. Her light attack is actually somewhat hard to intercept with, but it's not that bad, especially when we can just kill her right there, so we don't even need to get the taunt back. So easy Emma Frost fight. Next up, Node 24 against this Kitty Pride. Another Omega Sentinel fight. This one definitely harder. Kitty is much harder to fight this tactic because you eat an SP1, you are dead. It's like, just dead, pretty much. I don't see a big way you can survive that. Maybe you could because OS is a little bit tanky and has cowardice and has some energy resistance. However, especially on this node with that prowess, it's bad if you eat an SP1. So we're just not going to let that happen. I don't know how I triggered my auto block there. I guess I missed a parry. But I'm going to go for blocking this SP2 just because trying to dex it could be bad because I've never dexed it while rooted before. I've never fought a Kitty Pride this tactic, I don't think. Maybe once with Shocker, but I don't believe so. But one thing I didn't realize was that only Kitty's personal prowess gets removed by cowardice, so the one from the node actually stays, which is frustrating, and that basically tripled the amount of damage that I took from blocking her SP2. But at the same time, it's fine, we soloed, that's what matters, and we are going to move on to the last fight on my path, and that is against this Nick Fury on node, 33, I believe. Now, it is best to give a little context as to what is happening here. Basically, we have to win this war to lock in Plat 1. If we don't, we stay, or move back down to Plat 2, and it's kind of a disappointment. And I'm taking these fights in the morning with only a couple hours left because I had to wait on a pre-fight to take a mini-boss later in this war, so I wasn't going to clear the rest of my fights. And basically, it was a close war this entire time, so when I woke up in the morning, I didn't even look at the scoreboard. I didn't want the added pressure of knowing, hey, if I die, I could be losing the war. So I just didn't look at the scoreboard. So I'm going into this fight basically blind as to maybe we're really ahead, maybe we're really behind, maybe we're really close, but I max boosted anyway, because I'm going to play like this is going to save the war for the Alliance if I can help it, and we are just going to get solos by whatever means possible. And we're going to start against this Nick Fury here, who is pretty easy for Kitty. There's not much to say. It's a really easy Kitty fight, much better than Killmonger. We're going to go for the SP3 to ramp Kitty up, and then ideally nuke him down with an SP2 just as he enters his second life. That is the rotation I felt was best to go with here. The Incinerate's not going to do a lot of damage, but my basic attacks are, because we have class advantage and we have max boost on, so we are going to hit pretty hard with our basic attacks, even though Kitty's basic attacks don't increase their own attacks, so it's just a lot of crits, and we're killing him pretty fast. We're going to push him into the second life pretty soon, and I want to have get close to 2 bars of power as soon as I push him in there, and he's at 2% health. He throws an SP1. I'm going to get hit by the last part apparently, and now he has a lot of prowess, but luckily he purifies the passives, so it doesn't even matter. We take so much damage on the block though. He didn't throw a heavy attack, and that really sucked, but it's okay, because the unblockable special is going to finish the job with a lot of overkill, to be honest. So that was my last Kitty fight, so I don't even need to worry about healing up the chip damage. Next up, we have Quicksilver on node 41, and honestly, this was the fight I was most nervous about this war, because Quicksilver on Bubble Shield is scary, because he hits so hard into your block, because he's hitting your block constantly. My game plan was, I have no idea why I started with a light attack. That was actually a very dumb idea. What I really wanted to do is get the evade on cooldown ASAP, so I could start placing cold snaps. And I'm going to place a cold snap right on the double medium after this SP2. And now he can't evade, so we can safely go for our regular things. But we're going to go for an intercept as soon as possible. I think I'm actually just going to eat a combo, because I forgot about the roots, and now I'm just like, okay, well, this is bad, but I dex his SP1 while rooted, and I get the intercept, so now we're fine. Now we throw the SP3, we can chill a little bit. I know once I come out of the SP3, I can block the specials, because I have that taunt active. The SP3 does not do a lot of damage, it's not a damage special at all for her, but it does give me a cruelty, or 3 cruelties I should say, making any of my crits hit a lot harder, and now I'm just baiting the SP2 while being careful to not like dash back and end up getting hit by it anyway. Dash out of the tail end, and he's basically dead here. We're hitting really hard. Just that was a 30k striker, because we got all crits, and each kit did like 11k, so it was like almost 35k actually. But yeah, we got the job done. Was very nervous about it, but it's fine. So next we have Omega Sentinel versus Node 48 Domino. I died at this fight last war, very stupidly, in fact. What happened was, I blocked an SP2 because I didn't trust myself to dex it, even though I know it's really easy. I didn't want to take any chances, and I took like 60% of my health from block damage. And then I died from intercept right after. So here I'm like, okay, I'm not letting that happen again. I refuse to die that stupidly. So what I'm gonna do, trust my dexes. That's all I needed to do the first time. The dexes aren't even hard, I just didn't trust myself, I was worried about it. Here I'm like, I got this, it doesn't matter. I can dex these specials just fine. Even though they're super easy, there's literally no chance I'm gonna mess it up. And so that's what my game plan is going into this fight. Dex the specials, you are absolutely chilling, grass. So we go for just regular combos. We want to build to an SP3 first. That's the rotation I came up with for this fight. We go for an SP3 with Conflictor on cooldown, so that I place 6 plasmas, and they just start ticking and ticking, and we're chilling. So we're going to trigger Conflictor with a double medium right here, and then go for the SP3. But I made a mistake. You know how Conflictor will purify multiple debuffs if they trigger all at once? Well, when you trigger the double medium with OS to place a debuff, and immediately, like with no delay whatsoever, go for the SP3, it's gonna assume the plasmas and the cowardice were placed at the same time. So it purified all of them. Which is stupid how it works. It works with things like glancing into special attacks. It's very frustrating, but at the same time, we're okay. I didn't need the plasmas, like, I just wanted them to tick for some damage so I can still 5-hit combo her to death. It's just unfortunate that she would have died a lot faster had I waited even just like half a frame for the plasmas to not get conflicted. So it's okay, because you saw me dex that rooted SP2, and we're going to go for the dex the SP1 here, and I'm going to throw the SP3 to finish her off. We got the revenge kill. Did not die stupidly to this Domino a second time. So I'm very happy about that. I got my revenge on Domino. Now, I have to get revenge on Silk. The Silk boss that I died to last war. My mistake last war fighting the Silk boss was I used my evade when the taunt was only at half duration, and I want to use the evade to catch her dash attack to replace the taunt. However, I used it when she was just doing a regular medium attack and not a medium attack dash, so it didn't actually trigger that taunt. And there was only half duration left on the taunt, so she got a little passive, that taunt fell off, and I was basically dead because she was at SP2 and I couldn't dex it. So the game plan here is never, ever use that evade unless she's dashing in, because that is the key to winning the fight, is getting that taunt from the dash parry. So that's what we're going to do, dash parry, got the taunt. So what we're going to do, ramp up by getting a precision on the SP1 first, and now we're critting a lot more. We have the taunt up again, but I got bubble shielded. And now I'm kind of panicking because she just throws the SP1 and I wasn't expecting it. Now I'm at 40%. Now I get light intercepted. And she charges the heavy and I die to a heavy attack. I got 17 hit comboed by an AI. It's just, I got bubble shielded and it went downhill from there because my rhythm was really thrown off. So, yeah, very disappointing way to end the season for me. I had the boss under control. I've never soloed it before because the one time I soloed it, she was at 80% health because it was a cleanup. But I was like, I destroyed her on that cleanup attempt so easily. Why couldn't I just replicate that and I just do something so stupid as to get bubble shielded and just let the fight go out of hand? So I'm very disappointed in myself, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's just a mistake that I just have to deal with and learn from it. But we're gonna destroy this boss in the second attempt, which almost always makes me feel worse because I'm like, why couldn't the boss go this well on the first attempt, and then we wouldn't be in this situation, dude. So I'm throwing the SP2. We have that precision up. We just hit really hard with all the burst damage, all the red numbers. We're just double mediuming to end the fight, and we go for an SP1, we get a crit, we get no crit then, we get no crit then, but I can just block the SP2 and we're just big chillin'. It's so frustrating when you have a fight that goes so perfectly on the second attempt and you just, oh, I couldn't have gone so easy on the first attempt. So now that my fights are over, I'm going to check to see what the war status was, and we were going to lose anyway, so it didn't matter. But here I'm going to show the awards I acquired over the season. We finished this season 8-4, Plat 2, and this is my first award, the Mini Boss Killer. I took the most mini bosses over the season, and I'm very proud of that. I took more mini bosses than everyone else in my battle group, and I soloed most of them. I think I had 6 deaths this season. 5 of them were mini bosses, so I definitely cut back on path deaths, which felt very good. But I did a really good job, I'd say. And here's my second award, the entire battle group MVP. My solo rate was the best in the battle group, combined with the fact that I took the most fights this season. So I was basically an auto draft for the MVP in the battle group, which I'm really proud of. I'm really happy with how I did it. And I can't thank my officer enough for assigning me all the fights that I got to get me there. And so I got Chavez and Tigra because those were my season MVPs for my account. And I got a profile pick of Vox because Vox is like my current favorite champion right now. And it looks super sick. It's what I'm using as my Discord profile pick. You can get the Discord link in the description of this video if you're interested. Yeah, that's what I'm using as my Discord profile pick and other socials, which I'm not really on any other socials. But yeah, so that's the end of my season. Very disappointing way to finish it, but I had a very good season. I think I had the best solo rate I've ever had, and I got Season Battle Group MVP and Mini Boss Killer, and just, I feel really good about myself. Even though it was a disappointing way to end it, I'm happy with how I performed, so that, at the end of the day, that's what matters. As long as I'm proud of myself, then, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the season videos that I posted this season. And I'm definitely not stopping these war videos. I enjoy making them a lot, and I'm excited to start posting the Season 48 war videos in a couple of weeks. See ya! Thank you so much for watching.